Hello and welcome to the closet. Well, one of them. This is a coat closet, and this is a refresh I'm doing on it. And at first look, there isn't a ton wrong with it. There's a place for shoes, possibly hats, and coats to be hung up, though that's not what's actually going to be going here besides the coats. The real issues are that the house that has been built is built from wood, and as you may be tired of me actually saying by now if you've watched any of my other videos, but if something is made from wood, it has the ability to contort due to the weather conditions or just general heat around it. When an entire area within a wooden frame exists, that area is probably about to contort too. Therefore, cracks can happen as well as some discoloration that happens over time. Also, there's a whole ass piece missing from the back. So to start, I needed a plan. I started this in my notebook by drawing out the closet, both the inside and when the doors open, then the checklist. These are not in any particular order. So first I'm tightening the screws that keep the bolts in place to hold the door on, so it actually shuts properly, you know? kind of the basic need of a door. Then it's spackle time, or polyfilla, and I needed to do a lot of this. Don't be stingy with it because you can always take away what you don't need, whether that be while it's wet or when it's dried down by sanding, but it does take 24 hours to dry, so if you don't have enough added to one layer, you don't want to have to add another layer an entire day later when you think it's going to be time for the next step. The only time you want to do this is when you know you'll be needing a very, very large amount and you want it to dry between layers so it's not perpetually going to be wet, you know? I went between using a palette knife to put the spackle on to using my finger in a glove, though those were big, strong cracks. That sounds weird. My glove! But my latex gloves were no match for it. Replace that glove. Took some unnecessary wood out, that's what she said, and continued. Do you ever just grab a door handle and the door runs away from you? No? Yeah, me neither. It's sanding time! Fuck. Now it's sweeping time! It just doesn't hit the same. I also want to remove the wooden stopper of sorts, mostly to replace the nails securing it, as they weren't really securing anymore. Kind of just a basic job, wasn't doing it. That was fun. And again, sweeping time. When I did this, a piece of the inner trim came off, and I thought it might be a quick fix to put back on-ish. It was not. Then I washed it all down with TSP and rinsed it a few times with water. As for the missing piece, I measured out the area and brought it down to the workshop. And plot twist, this was before the doors to the cabinets went back on. Anyways, I digress. I measured a piece of trim out to what it needed to be and cut that bitch to size. If it looks like I was struggling, it's because I was. This only let me cut it one way, weirdly enough not the other. I made sure it fit right and then pre-drilled some nail holes so I could easily nail it into the wall. To add more stability and security to it when it dried down, and for after, I used some E6000 to where I will be lying it down, just underneath it, then slid it in. And then did some off to the back, and yeah. Adding more E6000 as I continued. Now stop. Hammer time. Then I used a finishing nail head to sink them further in, as to make them less visible and prep them for the next step. And then finished off with some spackle over top to blend them better in together. And to make the edges seamless, I took off the rest with a damp rag.
Yeah, I'm thinking because it's got nails in it, you're either going to damage the floor or your heel.
There you are! Stay in your damn lane!
You can just use your finger for that little bit.
That's what she said. And then again 24 hours later, I sanded it with a fine grit. It's sanding time! Again. And then prime time. Not the television network though. I first added it on with my brush in all of the corners as well as over the new trim pieces, just to make everything look like a cohesive piece. Then proceed to roll it on further. Then two coats in a cloak closet. Try saying that 10 times fast. Anyways. Because I am not doing the wooden accents of this closet, once the white was down and completely dried, both layers, I put them back in, with some difficulty, might I add. After the white had fully dried, once again, you don't want to do this while the paint's wet, otherwise it will go everywhere. Nailing the stopper back in. You know, that thing I've tripped over approximately 37 times? And Bob's your uncle. Robert is your mother's brother. As you may be able to tell with all of these spaces that I've either been completely redoing or upgrading lately, all of the stuff is already in it when I show you the aftershots, and that's because these are real people and real spaces. I don't have the added luxury of, you know, making them all dolled up as if they were getting ready to sell or anything like that. But this is the finished product, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little update, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!